Yeah, I can enlarge it.
I could have sworn that everyone was already in here. Is this me?
I think, did you just set it down and was it near there?
I
Because
think
ours
so.
are like nearly the same amount in there.
I'm not sure. I think so. Is that one yours?
Yeah, well, one of these two is mine. I
Okay.
don't remember which one is where.
Well, I don't have any fur cooties that I know of.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, cool.
Yes, we're gonna split up after the presentation. Oh, sorry.
I have 5 passwords we can pass around for you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna split up into the kitchen.
Okay.
There's a presentation.
There's still a few people finishing up.
Oh, are you talking today?
Yeah. Fine.
Here, let me turn off this. Anyone mind if I turn off this,
No,
light? We
it's
have a
good.
little more.
Yeah, it's
A little more mood in here. This is a
beyond.
dating company after all.
It is more romantic.
It is definitely.
Anymore.
I hope you don't
Yeah,
wanted to get close to there because it was small print.
I'd just like to. Sorry?
Thank God I have a case for my computer.
Yeah.
So, welcome everyone to the study group tonight. As you can see, we have a guest speaker from Zeus who's going to discuss JavaScript frameworks and in particular Angular. Then after the presentation, we'll have self-study time with some links on the board that people generally use, but you can use whatever materials you like. And I'd like to thank everyone for getting here by 6:45. And I just want to just a reminder that we cut off things at 6:45 just to avoid disruption to everyone who's already here.
Can we
So I just
squeeze a
wanted to
little bit?
thank
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
That's it. Thanks for getting here at 6:45. We used to go down and get people in the lobby, and we were just going up and down the elevators all night. So thank you.
Thank you. Can you pass me on 2, please?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Oh. So, are we getting started? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so, hi.
Tile over here. Wait, maybe Dominic, maybe give everyone a second to sort out
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Wi-Fi password.
Everybody gets their own. Do you want one? Oops. Sorry.
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Tommy. I'm a software engineer here at Zeus. Today, thanks to Christine for giving me this opportunity to do a small presentation about JavaScript. Today I'm talking about a pretty modern JavaScript framework called AngularJS. I made some PowerPoint. It's like only 9 pages, but I prepared 2 demos. I think it's the best way to learn. So the first demo is the old way. So let's jump into there. So I prepared a pinball survey website for our pinball event. So this is using the old methods. So if you fill in anything and comment probably Zeus, and if you type anything, you want drive, yeah, your completed card, what it is, let's try this. So yeah, and your email is like typing something, your cell, anything, and then when you submit, yeah, it will say, okay, really, it's let me enlarge. Oh, I cannot enlarge that. So it's like we don't want to chainsaw anyone. So this validation is done by JavaScript. So we need to figure this. JavaScript is like a front-end language talking to the browser. So we need to do the validation here and choose 2. Probably I have a sedan. I choose 4. Anything. And what else? Let me choose this one. Okay, let me submit. Okay, JavaScript is like saying, okay, sorry, your email is invalid. Yeah, because I'm like missing the add thing. It's also done by JavaScript. So if I submit, it says, okay, your cell phone number is not valid. Okay, come on, or one something. Okay, and yeah, I think that's that. Let's try this time. Yeah, so now it submits and it will show the statistics, like how many boys or girls and which date they choose. Actually, all these 2 figures are generated by JavaScript. Called it's a library called D3, data-driven something. Yeah, so if you're curious, you can go to data-driven documentation. So it has all these beautiful things. You can just we should talk about this. Yeah. So actually, I just choose anyone from this. It's pretty easy to use, and it's really fancy. Everything is front end. It's like JavaScript. So yeah. So if you wanna, but this is not the topic for today. So okay. So and I also set up the backend. So if you go to my backend database, you can see, okay, the new member we just added is here. That means 1 something the trash email, something. Yeah, so this is backend and that's the front end. The front end is done by JavaScript, and since it's done by the old in the old way, it's really complicated. I show it here. So how can I enlarge? But anyway, yeah, it's really I need to write lots of code in order to do the crazy stuff. So now today we are introducing the AngularJS, which is like the modern way, like the modern cool method to do all this stuff. So AngularJS is a MVC. It's the design pattern. It's like a model view controller. It's kind of a separate your logics. Here, let me switch back. Oh, can't do that. Oh, this is the another one. Okay, here, yeah. So this is the old way. It's kind of twisted. It's or spaghetti. The view, the model, and all the logics are like twisted together. So currently, we are like trying to separate them so that they are like called decoupled. They are not affecting each other, so you can focus on one thing and not annoying other parts. Yeah, so it's less dependency. You prove, yeah, it's read easy to read and understand. Yeah. So model is the data. It's called model or data or module. So it's actually the brand. It's like for the old example, it's the database. So controller is kind of doing the behavior, doing the calculation, and is where the logic sits. And both model and controller are JavaScript, and the view is what the users see. So it's actually HTML and CSS, cascading style sheet. So it's the interface, and it's the data like presented to the user. So how these three components interact is shown here, like controller, web, model. Model is like database, REST API, major business logic. View is like the HTML. Yeah, and oh yeah, and one cool feature of AngularJS is the data binding. I'll show you in the next big demo, which will take like 15 minutes probably. Yeah, so it's kind of a real-time rendering. So whenever you type anything, you can see it immediately in the web page. Instead of like the old JavaScript way, you do some crazy stuff and you refresh page, or it's not a real-time rendering. Yeah, so let's do the demo. So I think it's the best way to do that. So in order to save some typing, I made several commits, which the commits is like, so yeah, so all the Git logics are, the Git logs are here. So this one, yeah, you need to view it in the reverse direction. So this one I made like, what, 2 hours ago, yeah, preparing for this presentation. So I just checked this out, and yeah, this page is like TV show premiere. So we're actually rendering a TV show premiere to the user using Angular. So through this demo, I will show you how Angular, how Angular is like faster or easier compared to the old way. So I just check this out, and I open the project here. So here is the. Can I see it or no? Is it better?
Yeah.
Cool. But if the left bar, then I was trying to show you. It's still very small. But yeah, so it's a hierarchy. In order to use AngularJS, you need to just include this one, Angular minified JavaScript or Angular. So. And I also recommend you to use the Bootstrap. Bootstrap is the Twitter stuff. It's really cool. So, like the previous one, the previous one is really ugly. Twitter's Bootstrap has. Sorry, I cannot type. Okay, so the Bootstrap has all the well-defined CSS, like the buttons or the forms. So if you go here, you see the form. It has all the well-designed form out of the box. So you just use it. Like the buttons, you have all these cool buttons. So I'll use this. It's a modern way, instead of like you create everything from the ground. So yep. So in order to use Angular, you just include this one, and yeah, so you create a app.js. So this is the module. Like I said, a module view and control. So the index HTML is used only for the view. So we want to separate things so that they are like independent from each other, and we can test them easily and develop it faster. So the index is the view, the app.js, JavaScript is the module. So we create one called TV Premieres app. It's actually an app. It's now the coolest name. Everything is an app, So and the controller is called main controller.js. So now it's empty because it's the initial. It's just the very beginning. So let's switch back. Yeah. So it's this page. In order to verify it's this page, I just want to type anything like haha, and then it will show haha. Okay. So we're good. Okay. And yeah, so let me enlarge the font. Yeah. Okay, is it better or? Yeah, it's just yeah. So we want to render everything here between this, because here we use the Angular app. It's not the the engine movie like no good is the Angular. So Angular-app, we are initializing this app. So this app will exist inside this HTML tag, so which is this div to this. So everything between this will be under control of AngularJS. So I'll show you like how it controls that. The controller is called a main controller, which we define here, right? So remember, this app is a module. So we first define the module here, and then we bind the controller to the module. So here we have the module, here we have the controller, here we have the view. So actually we separate this. Okay.
How are they bound together?
Oh, here, yeah. So you first declare this one, and by binding you just dot it. You know?
App dot.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can app dot anything, you know. So exactly.
Okay.
You have controller, you have a filter, you have a provider. I think you have 4 roles, you know, in Angular. So you have to read the book to kind of figure out how many. Angular is really huge, so I'm not an expert on Angular. I just learned like 2 weeks ago, and so yeah. So yeah, but here at Zeus we are using Angular. So in order to save some typing, let me check off the next snapshot. Snapshot, not Snapchat. So let's check out this one. So, okay. So now you see we have some code. Yeah, I don't want to save some typing, you know. So okay, so we add some code here. Yeah, so you want to do this because AngularJS is the front-end framework, so we need to deal with some data. So here we have this easy solution, which is we query the data from the web. So the web is here. It's called track.tv. So basically here we want to render some TV show. You know, so yeah, so it's still nothing because we're working on the kind of the back end of the front end. So we're working on the module and controller. So in this controller, we initialize this, and we get data by sending this HTTP request. So actually, I output this data as log data something, you know. So we cannot see it here, but if we open the console of this browser, we cleaned it. Let me see if I can. Yeah, oh, great, cool.
How did you get that to?
Command plus.
Command plus.
Yeah. And command minus is like yes. yeah.
And command 0 to set it, reset it.
Command 0 will set it back to the initial status. Okay, so here we have everything. When I refresh it, yeah, when you can see even if the front end shows nothing, we got some data here. So it's actually the JSON data. It's hard to see, so I think I wrote this. Yeah, display JSON to console. So actually all these data are queried from the website. The website is pretty cool. It's called Track TV. Yeah. So all the TV shows are retrieved from here. So the calendar or something. Yeah. So okay, check out our next step. Okay, just save the typing. Okay, yeah. So I add more code here. It's kind of the magic. Yeah. So JSON. Yeah. So here's a hint about how to deal with the data. So we have the data, we output it into the console, but it's hard to read. So we use a JSON stringify probably, yeah, to make it like a JSON. So then we refresh it. We have all this JSON, but they are all like condensed. It's really a lot. Yeah. So we're doing something big here. So in order to read this more clearly, we go to any JSON formatter. You can get tons of, and then you go here, you paste your crazy stuff here, and you process, and it's valid, and yeah, and it will give you this beautiful display. Oh, it's too large. Sorry. Yeah. So you have all the dates, and you can see how they organize the data. It's dates, episodes, rounders, ratings, everything. Okay. So now we have the data. We want to render it to the front end, and we want to bind this together like the module v1 controller. So just to recall, we have the modules here. It's called results, and we have the controller, which is a method. The controller is like querying the website, get the data, and save it to the results. So what it does is here. Yeah, you see? So we add the date and we push it to the results. So now our results has the data.
And
So
is scope.result something you can get from any controller? Like, can you access that anywhere?
yeah. So yeah, that's my next step. So we have the scope dot results. Remember I said everything inside this div is under control of the app. So we want to actually list it here. So I think I don't need to type anything. First, just display. Cool. This one. So yeah. So now we have the display. You see, so the TV shows, everything. So this is how we get the data from the module or the controller. Yeah. So it's TV show, episode, ratings, loved. Where's the TV show? TV show is the loop through the result, and what's results? Result is here, right? So it's kind of talking to each other, right? The scope.results will be kind of populated by the controller, and then the front end will just get the data from the results and then render it to our page. So our page should have a lots of stuff. So let's go back to our page. It's here, right? Let me this one, and if I refresh, we should see something. Okay, cool. It's quite beautiful, huh? So yeah. So we want to do more stuff here. We have the data, and we want to add some functionality just to show how cool Angular is. Okay, so what's the next step? Okay, so we want to search something. It's kind of the so go back to the presentation. It's the data binding I want to see. So it's kind of a real-time data binding in 2 directions. So whenever you search something, you can get the result in real time. It's like the Google search intelligent hint. Yeah. So empty search added. Okay, so let's check this out. Cool. So now if I refresh, we should have a filter, but it doesn't do anything because it doesn't bind to the backend controller. So let's go to the code to add the logic there. We have here, we have here. Yeah, so nothing changed here. Let me see what's next. Just add it. Oh yeah. So it's pretty easy. So by filtering, you just add a pipe and your filter filled. So actually it's just here. So in this repeat, where's the repeat? Sorry, TV shows. Yeah, here. This repeat is a kind of a loop. So you want to filter while you repeat, while you do the loop. So if you check out our next code snapshot. So somewhere here should change. You know, it's just a pipe and a filter. So let's see. Yeah. So now this line changed. It's a pipe and the filter. It's just that easy. It's compared to the JavaScript. So now our front page will, if we refresh, yeah, we need to refresh in order to let the browser to reload the code. So now if we type anything like Derek, now it will do the filter, right? The badgie, see? And since we have lots of episode 1, if we type episode 1, it will filter out episode 1 for us. It's really quick, and then it's really easy, just 1 line of code. So compared to the old way of JavaScript, like you're doing all the crazy stuff, like dorm, query, and then yeah. So that's that, and it's using the default filter, which is just the text. So we want to do some more crazy stuff, like we want to filter. We want to add our customized own filter. So let's do that. So this time we want to filter by genre. So am I pronouncing it right? Genre. It's French, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So the,
We know what
the
you mean.
yeah, the genres are like comedy, drama, reality, romance, news, something. So we want to add another one here, and we want to do the filter there. And so yeah, genre front end. Okay. Yeah. So this is a development process. So you always do your work on different sides without considering, the other two parts. Like you work on the view and you don't need to care about the module and controller. So it's kind of really decoupled and independent. So we check this out and we go back here. Yeah, we have the genre, we have all, we have the labels. We actually here we didn't do anything on the AngularJS side, so this one should be empty. So we should only have all. So let's see if that's it. Yeah, so we only have all. We want to populate this one with all the genres we have, right? So this should be done when we query the website and get all this information. So we need to do the work on the controller side. Yeah, controller genre. Let's do that. Check out. Okay. So if we go back to major controller, we can see, okay, these are all the old stuff. Okay, so here, yeah, I add this, adding a genre. Yeah, so for each of the TV show genres, how do we get this? Again, we come back to the JSON. So it's kind of the TV show genres. So it should be under somewhere here. Genre, right? Yeah. So it's a array, and the function will. So this one is for each. It will loop everything under here. But one thing I need to point out is that when you loop it, the value will be here, and the index will be the second one. So normally it's like the key value pair, but now it's like reversed. So if you check AngularJS for each, yeah, just read the doc, and you can see, okay, it's value key instead of key value. So it's a bit weird. Okay. So we only need the genre here, so we don't care about the index, and we do everything here. So yeah, remember we need to create the module. So the module is called available genres. It's first initialized to be an empty array, and then here comes the filling. So for each available genre, we loop through it, and if exist is true, we just don't add it. If exist is false, and the genre is like greater than 0, we just add it, right? So after adding this, we should have all our available genres here, right? I need to refresh it, and see, yeah, so we have everything here. But it still doesn't do anything because we haven't added logic here. We just populated this scroll down with all the genres. So next step we need to do is, yeah, so now we have the genre filter works. So remember the previous one, we are using the default filter, which is like really easy, a pipe and then filter, and the filter text is the default by filling the text. So now we want to filter by the scroll down, right? So let's go here. We need to check out here. Yeah, so this step we add our new customized filter. So here we have the previous controller. Now we add a new one. Like you asked how we bind the controller filter to our module. This is how we bind it. We bind the first one controller called this one, and then we bind the second one called it's a filter, and it's called is genre, and all the logics are here. So it's actually comparing this stuff. So yeah. So actually this does the logic, and we add, yeah, so by adding that we need to pipeline the filters. So one filter is the text, and the other is like is genre, and we fill in by genre filter. Genre filter is something here. It's a model. It's read by this select the scroll down menu. So we feed this module or model or data into this is genre filter, which is here. And the first one is the input. The input is everything the input is sending by default. It's everything under the control of the app. It's like the default one, and we only pass in the genre. which is the user chosen one. Okay, so let's go back here. I need to refresh. Now, if I choose comedy, yeah, we have all the comedy, and we choose the horror. Yeah, we have all the horror. Yeah, so this is the self-defined filter. So.
Well, what if you want horror episode 1?
Uh,
To bring up 0.
Oh, you can just night 1. Yeah.
No, do one that brings up none of them.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, so it just.
Yeah. So it just works. You need to care about the logic. It's done magically by
Uh-huh.
So,
It
yeah.
does your edge cases.
yeah. So like I showed, it's really fast to make a decent website compared to our old one. Old one is here. So it's really ugly. Yeah. So actually. Yeah, that's all I prepared. The demo credits goes to Leon. It's a online blog. I read several examples in order to prepare this presentation, but I found this guy's blog to be the most helpful. Yeah. So any questions, comments?
Will you put up a link to your?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's. Oh, actually, this guy is really famous. So you just Google his name, you can find his
Yeah.
high
We'll do
quality
that,
stuff.
But if you put up your slides and your GitHub.
Oh yeah, I'll
thing.
do that. But I haven't done it. I'll send it to Christian after this.
Okay, and she'll put it up.
Oh, there's
Because
one.
that way we can find his name.
Yeah, we can just write down his name.
Leon Revill.
Yeah, it's a really short name. Yeah, even shorter than mine. Okay, so.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So can you talk just in terms of more the big picture stuff? Can you just talk, like I heard a lot of other stuff like Backbone or Node.js or other MVC models like Rails framework, and just like in terms of comparing to them, why will we want to use Angular, and how does it compare with
Other,
Backbone or
yeah.
Node.js or Rails in terms of just like day-to-day work and maintaining, how convenient does it is?
Different framework has different strengths. I only use a few of them, and like Node.js. Node.js is also a framework, but I think besides of dealing with front end, it does something on the back end. So if you use Node.js, you don't need to understand the where is it? My previous project. Yeah, you don't need to write any PHP. You can do both the front end and the back end using JavaScript. Yeah. Actually, I found an article, like it's